Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Welcome today. Thursday. Day before, is it the day before prom? All right, there we go. Getting everything, those that are going, got everything set. If you're going, hopefully you have everything set and all that stuff that you need in order to have success. There we go. There we go. Enjoy it for those who are going. What's that? All right. So today we will continue looking at your case study here. And yesterday you figured out who you will focus on, so that's huge. One thing you don't think about is, as we are looking at authoritarians, and some will find out that their authoritarian could be, pretty hardcore, and some authoritarians could be, pretty nice in some regards. In the best way you can say, I suppose we put air quotes around it and all that stuff, which leads to believe when we look at government. So here we go. The hard question right away for the day is a dictatorship always wrong, or is it possible to create a benign dictatorship? Okay, big stuff there. Dictatorship. I guess we have to think about, what is a dictatorship? Anybody want to speculate? Either here or at home? A dictatorship. Someone give me a good definition, or a definition that they think it is. My mom and dad are acting like a dictator. Mr. Newcomb's a dictator. Those are all things I've heard. All right.
Doesn't a dictator mean they have absolute power? Anything you say goes.
It is viewed as that, yes. A form of government where this person has absolute power. They can dictate. They can determine. All right. So with that being said, what is benign? What's that?
Good.
Good. Could be good. Is it threatening? So I suppose when you look at it in a health sense, if something is benign, it's mild, non-threatening. So is it possible to have a non-threatening, good dictatorship? Is it possible?
I don't know. I might say no, because dictatorship is having absolute power. If you're benign in some sort of way, I think you wouldn't have that absolute power. There'd be some places where you lack power, and therefore it wouldn't necessarily be a dictatorship.
Okay. All right. I see your point. Good point. Think about you can't maybe see in this because I got a light over there, but here you have the Perones, and they're packing the crowd. Or even this, Fidel Castro is down there having a conversation with the children. Fidel Castro packing it in. Or when you see leaders and they pass away, dictators pass away, and people are crying. There has to possibly be something good, positive, that maybe these individuals like. Throwing it out there.
I do think it's fair to say that there probably are good aspects of their dictatorship, but um, people sometimes tend to look at the good things in these circumstances because they don't know any better, or to look at the bad things. But from an outside perspective, you might see the bad far outweigh the good that these people did.
Okay. All right. Good point. The moment. Oh, that's a good point. What do you got?
I should agree with that. I was gonna say, like, people's viewpoints and their perspective can really vary when they're like under the dictatorship, especially if like the dictator uses a lot of propaganda and like a lot of like mental conditioning. They could believe that things are good without them actually like being good from an outside perspective. I think it's theoretically possible to have a good dictator, but I think anyone who goes through with like seizing absolute power is likely to not be benign because they went to very extreme lengths to have power.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good point. Good point as well. Good point as well. Okay. Again, it's something to think about. When I used to teach political science and of all things, early on when we were studying different governmental systems, my students had a task to create a government after a disaster. After disaster, in all things, it was a biohazard disaster that had impaired society, and you got to recreate now a system. And inevitably, the systems that they started off with were all authoritarian base, dictatorship. What is it about, perhaps, that dictatorships might cause people to gravitate towards? What's that?
It's like the only option. Like if it's
Okay. All right. Okay, could be the only option. Got to start somewhere. That is the option. Olivia.
I think, and especially with like a disaster, there's always going to be that information. This first something, they know the secrets fixing, like they hold them to a different standard by
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
That could be, since an authoritarian has a lot of control, it could be that aspect of control, feeling secure, and everything's neat and in order, and there's no chaos in this government or anything like that. So they feel like things are going to get done in the right way.
Okay. So could be, you look at this is the best option. Person has an idea, and others are, okay, we're going to go with that idea. But I think you also hit on the idea of creating a sense of order and security. I mean, that's a dictatorship does create a sense of order. It does. My follow-up always to my students was, how long? How long is this dictatorship going to last? The disaster's going to pass. How long does it last? I mean, if we look at the ancient Romans, Cincinnatus was selected to be the dictator to lead them through difficult times, but then when it was over, he stepped down and went back to becoming a farmer. So that's always, how long does that dictatorship last? How long does that individual want to hold the power? So forth. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Something to think about as you're looking at your authoritarian. All right, and so again here, when we look at our authoritarian, remember, so the next couple days here, you really are focusing on this, getting some good information about your authoritarian, get that context, the background, what is influencing them, the conditions and methods and how they rise to power. You think about like Fidel Castro, how is he rising to power? Batista's not a popular guy anymore. He's a dictator. Even the United States is distancing itself from Batista. And so we've got a revolution that's taking place in Cuba, all right? Consolidation. Now, once they do get into power, they still are weak, but how can they strengthen their position? It's all about consolidating it. What kind of methods are they doing? Fidel Castro in the Sierra Maestra Mountains puts together a manifesto on from the Sierra Maestra Mountains. And in there, he talks about more of like a coalition government. Something happened, though. Maybe he just put his thoughts on paper, and that all it was is to get people in to create this popular 26th of July movement. And then once in power, start filtering them out. And we see that in other cases too. Maintain with policy, success and failures. Remember, economics is always a big one. They got to deliver. They got to deliver the bank, in some ways, and decline. And it's going to vary from country to country with decline. Usually the decline simply is the person died in office. Look at that. Highlight the learner profile. Remember the learner profile. Just take a couple off that learner profile and explain why you think Benito Mussolini, El Duce is this. And then also you're making a case or a pitch for being a totalitarian. That's the persuasiveness of it. Always add some visuals in here. It's the 20th century. Lots of them there. And make sure you come up with some sources as well. And take some time to look at the rubric that has been attached. Take a look at it. All right. Is there any questions on how you put this thing together? So this will be due Wednesday. So we'll have today, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to work on it. So plenty of time for success. All right, for success. I'm gonna focus on that piece there as well. I just want to remind you though that, or at least tell you, tomorrow we will not have a live Google Meet. I'll keep it open if you have questions about this, but we don't have to meet tomorrow as a class. All right? And tomorrow is advisor. It is advisor. Yes, it is. And there's a good chance that you'll meet with your advisory teachers. All right? So we have it that. Any questions, comments, concerns? Please utilize these books up there. They're really, really good. Some good information. All right. And if you are using books up there or any source that you go to, document it. Document it. All right. All right. I'll cut you loose. I'll let you work on it. Those at home, you can stay on or exit.